On this next video, we are going to replace the spark plugs, give it a minor tune-up, the air filter, and the gas filter. So let's get this video going, guys. Okay, let's get to this gas filter. First thing we do is we put the sour cream bowl underneath it so we don't drop a lot of gas all over everything and make it hazardous. And so easy. These are all prepped, ready to go. Got the splice in there where it's in line, and you just take the clamps off, break it loose where it's been. All right, and just pull it off. And by the way, I have that gas turned off here on this main valve coming in from the tank. So what gas we have in it is gas that's already in the line. Okay guys, you see that? That's the way it came off. Just like that. Make sure you put it back on the way it comes off, the flow from the gas tank going in that direction towards the engine. See, this one shows you flow. That's what that little arrow is, the flow of the gas. The other one was a little bit tough to get off, guys. You didn't see all of it, but I wrestled with it. All right. It had been on there for a little while. This mower has 200 hours on it, and I keep it in pretty good shape. I keep the filter all blown out and cleaned up, and I usually keep the gas all fresh. The battery disconnected when I'm not using it. I do use regular gas in it to eat the stuff with the ethanol in it. And I did want to get this thing tuned up before I did have any problems with it. So I want to turn this valve on now, going into it where it could get gas into that filter. So that's how that works, guys. That's the filter. Easy squeezy on that. Okay, guys, now on to those spark plugs. Took me a little while, but I had to find my anti-seize compound. You need to put that on there. Always put that on your threads before you change your spark plugs. Keep it from galled turn up a gall in that aluminum, because those things are notorious about doing that. So just bear in mind, you want to use that anti-seize. And also, guys, I wanted to tell you that I checked the specs on this thing, and this gap is 27 thousandths to 31 thousandths. I checked that, and that's within specs. And so I always make sure that you check that gap, because if these things get dropped on the ends, they do have a little washer in there, a little felt paper washer that prevents that. But I have got them out of the pack, and they be closed in that gap because they've fallen down on the floor somewhere. So anyway, just be aware of that. When you're changing spark plugs, check that gap. Get you a feeler gauge. And here, everybody knows what those are, I'm assuming. Find your gap on there. That's 30 thousandths. So, and the metric, it does have a metric conversion on it, which is 7.076 millimeters. Anyway, put that anti-seize on there real well. Work it into those threads. All right, guys, let's get this other one out. Let's see how it looks. All right, I didn't have it on it properly. So there it is. The boot's up in there a little bit tight, guys. So just be patient with me and be patient with yourself. Don't get in too big of a hurry for this, and don't use your drill motor on this thing. You want to do this by hand. You want to pull them, push them in there, twist them in there by hand, twist them off by hand. And this did not have any anti-seize on it. The plug looks fairly good, but yeah, it looks all right. I could probably use that some more, but since I'm to this point, I'm going to go ahead and put the new ones in, guys. I've got them on hand. And I ordered these off of my local Husqvarna dealer. You could probably go into one of the big box stores or auto parts stores if you have the numbers and save a few dollars, which is what I do on the oil filter. I'll put a Fram oil filter in it. I don't use the unmarked kind because last time I checked it was 3 times higher than a regular Fram off the shelf. So if you can find that cross-reference, which I found it online, cross-referenced all the filters to each other, and that was a big help. I appreciate whoever put that online for me. It's very helpful. Saves you a lot of money as a consumer. So maybe you can tune your lawnmower up a little more often than you would have. So I know you small businesses out there, you have to count your pennies these days, guys. Everything's so expensive to operate. Everybody's on a budget, right? If you know my channel, which a lot of you do, I like to save money where I can, spend it where I don't have to, such as going on trips and all that good stuff. Go camping and that kind of stuff. So that's the reason I like to save money, because it helps me enjoy my retirement years a little better. I always try to put these spark plugs in and out by hand, and also anytime you start the screws, you need to start it by hand. But these threads are so small on these things, it's easy to cross thread those things. Look how small those threads are. Always check your spark plug to make sure it's in good shape, no oil or any of that stuff on it. So looks good, burning clean, all that kind of stuff. And by the way, these NGKs came with the kit I got. You can get the whole tune-up kit. I think it's $100, and it gives a filter, an air filter, a gas filter, spark plugs. Oh, and you do get the oil change kit. You get the filter and the oil, quart of oil. I think I don't know how much I spent on this, like $50, $60 on these parts. So yeah, that quart of oil and that filter is going to cost you $40 if you buy it in that kit. So that said, which normally the filter cost, last filter I bought for this mower was about $7. The oil itself was about, it calls for a, I think it's a 10W30, but you need to check and make sure. You know, a quart of oil now is $6, $7. So you could save, you know, $20 or so if you buy the parts separately. All right, guys, we got our plugs in. Got our plugs in. Now let's move on to something else. By the way, guys, these spark plugs were NGK BPR4ES. So yeah, you can buy your own, guys. And that's the kind that came out of it. And GK BPR 4ES. That's the numbers on them. Okay, let's get on with this thing. Just to show you what I had to pay for everything. This includes a pulley idler deck pulley. $30 for that. And so this was a total of $86.85, and that includes tax. $7.90 sales tax. And that is with the Element, the air filter. And that's what it cost me, guys. And I needed, the only thing I didn't get was the oil and the filter for that tune-up kit. All right. We have a Kawasaki FR730V engine on a Husqvarna. So we are doing a tune-up on it today. We have our plugs put in there. We had a, now we got to put an air filter on it. Doing a little work on it today, guys. Pop this thing off. It has 200 hours on it, real close to it. So this is what the filter looks like, and the filter looks really good. For 200 hours, and I'll tell you one reason it does. Is because I take it off periodically. And I put my leaf blower in there, and I blow all that stuff out. I back flush that filter, guys, and see it looks real good. But anyway, I thought it'd be time to replace it, so I went ahead and bought it while I was up there. It's pretty easy. All we got to do is take the filter off of this pipe and replace it. So let's look at it over here. Get your screwdriver. You know, the life of a lawnmower is keeping it in good operating shape. They last a long time if you keep them out of the weather, keep them lubricated, keep them running good, and keep the fuel in there. Good fuel. All right, there's the filter, guy. There's the part number on that filter. I wanted you to see that because it's not easy getting these part numbers. I'd never had a manual when I got this lawnmower. It only had 28 hours on it. And I bought it from the individual, and he didn't have the manual with it. And the drive, one of the drives was bad on it. It only had 28 irons on it. So when I first got it, it was running weak on the right side. The side that the chute is, no, it's on the left side, I think it was. And side opposite of the chute. And in case you haven't seen my video, which a lot of you have, I replaced that drive, and everybody said that I had contacted I would have to have another drive, and they wanted, I left it with one of my large dealers in the area. They kept it for 2 weeks, and I told them I needed it, and to let me know. They kept it for 2 weeks, and they never had touched it. And when I went up there to get it, they said I probably need a new drive. Well, those drives were $1,250 a piece. So actually, when I left it, he said, well, you may need a new drive. He said those are $1,250 a piece. And I said, well, let me know. Can you not fix that one? And he didn't say he could. He didn't say he could not. And so he kept it and never even looked at it. And so I ended up having to go get the lawnmower found what I could find on the internet about those hydro gear drives. And everybody was telling me, even these other dealerships, oh, you can't fix that. I said, if it can be built, I can fix it. So guess what, guys? I fixed it, repaired it, and that was 225 hours ago. She's still working like a new one. And like I said, it only had 28 hours on it. So don't let anybody tell you you can't do anything. Do all your homework, check it out, guys, and see what you can do. Anyway, that was a simple job, but I wanted to tell you about blowing your filters out. See, that filter looks really good, and the engine itself looks good. So anyway, so much for tuning up our Kawasaki FR730V. I'll change oil in it one of these days and let you see that when I get to the oil. I checked the oil. Just going to show you this. The reason I don't change it right now, because it has about 28 hours on it. You see that oil? That oil is clear, almost like new. So there you go, guys. You keep it in good shape. Keep an eye on your lubricant and all your liquids, and she'll last you a long time. Anyway, guys, so much. Thank you for watching Our Sweet Home Life. You're Our Sweet Home Life channel, and thank you for your support and subscribing. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you can. Thanks, guys.